Hey, I bet you thought that was a picture. It wasn't. I bet you couldn't even tell. I want to welcome you to freaking Stank Space, my dude. And you know what? Nick is definitely here. You can tell because this still of him is over someone else. But right now, I'm going to take that still away. Because I have to introduce to you.
It's me, bitches. Today's a very special episode because we've been contacted after my hilarious rant about a local pastor who's on Facebook talking about hating the gays.
Yes.
We can plug those pictures in here.
Oh.
It kind of blew up, and then I got contacted by PR for the Ashtabula Pride Parade coming up.
We love our makeshift fan now.
Yes, our makeshift fan. I needed a fan because I'm trying to be as true to my queen self as I can be.
Yes.
I'm so excited. I'm a huge fan of drag. Like Drag Race, RuPaul is my mother.
Yeah.
And I've never done makeup before, so I was like, hey, what better way to celebrate Pride and the celebration of Pride and the fact that we've been asked to talk about it and be included in it than to just go balls to the wall and live my fucking beautiful half-gay fantasy.
Yes, it is so cute. Do you love it? You love it. Obviously.
I love it. This is my drag name, Aileen Juicy.
Love her.
Pronounce that shit, because I'm not just juicy, I'm juicy.
I'm going to spell it out on the screen.
Yeah.
And you know what? Spell
Juicy.
it for us. Spell it for us.
Ayyylien, like alien. Or Aileen. And then Juicy, Jooshy, which is the juicier form of juicy. I look fucking popping and fresh and juicy.
You look amazing.
I look beautiful. Thank you so much.
Who
Jillian
did your
did
makeup?
it. Jillian did it over here. Jilly Lily is Aileen Juicy's only makeup pro honor.
I think I've done makeup on one other person. It was my cousin, and I did a horrible job.
Well, you did great with me. How was it, by the way? How was it? I know my eyeballs water a lot.
Yeah, it was easy. You did an amazing job. First time makeup putting on a person.
Yes, I feel whole.
I feel like I've been missing something.
I thought I looked terrible in makeup, and it's like, oh, okay.
I was like, hold on, bitch.
Yeah, you said sit back, boom, boom, bow.
This is how I do makeup.
But so here's the thing: since we got contacted by the Ashtabula Pride PR that were like, "Hey, we loved you exposing and shitting on a homophobic piece of trash. Good for you." I was like, "Oh, you're welcome. No problem." I just call it like I see it, and it's pretty obvious to see.
Yeah. Oh my god, it was so bad.
It wasn't even hidden. It was just very obvious. Like, gays are going to hell, and then like he said some things that made it seem like him and his followers were gonna be at Pride, and it was like, oh no, that's always bad. So like I just posted like, yo, look at this piece of shit hating gays and using religion to hate gays. Just want to let everyone know, like, if you're going to this event, you know, kind of thing,
careful. Yeah,
watch out, be careful, and don't let pieces of shit like this take over our community. Ashtabula is not a hateful fucking place. I guess he's like a new pastor for this church.
Oh yeah, you know what? I read there was a comment on that thread, and maybe I could find it, and I'll black out the name. But
the old pastor was apparently a sweetheart.
Like, amazing, and then, like, people started leaving the church because this guy was so
well, that's how I heard about it.
Bad.
Some of the people that left were like, because people know that I'd be on that social media. They send it to me.
Yeah, posts
and then I looked at his page, and I was like, oh, this guy's in a fucking one of those, like, psychos, like, what is it? The Westboro Baptist Church.
Yeah.
Like they do crazy shit. It's that vibe. It's like gays, like God hates gays kind of shit. And it's like, and we need to. It's a sin. We need to pray the gay away. He plugged like a pray the gay away like program on his Facebook. But here's the thing. So it blew up huge, like lots of shares. For me, blowing up huge, which is like just a lot of shares, like locally and stuff.
Yeah.
And people started going to his page and seeing that it was real, and then challenging him in his posts about like the shit that he was saying, and he privated his whole page, which I think is funny because it's like you were fine using the wrath of God to scream at people when you weren't being called out, but then people were like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And you were suddenly like, "Oh, I better private."
Yeah, you were like, "Explain," and he's like,
Our channel has slowly become a well of like justice drama.
Oh my God.
Sip the tea with this fucking pastor.
Yes, oh
you
my
can
gosh.
come on, bro. Do it.
Come on.
Anyway, so yeah, we got contacted by PR and we were like, we're going to do an episode. We're going to plug an ad, which will be in this episode for them so we can get the word out about this awesome fucking event that they're having. And we figured what better thing to talk about than something that's very close to us as members of the LGBTQIA plus community, which we might just shorten to LGBT plus, but only because it's
LGBTQ.
Yes, LGBTQ plus.
I feel
we'll
like
just
that's
say we're
going to
say different variations of the word, but we're including everyone. It's just
LGBTQ.
a lot of letters to remember in an order, and we're not used to talking about it. So
see, this is the thing about. I'm going to hit on this really quick, and then we're going to get back to exactly what we're going to talk about.
Love that.
LGBTQ is what I memorized because that's what it was at the time when
we discovered,
found out what it was.
Yeah, same with me. Yeah.
So like that's just what I say, and then they added the AI, which I'm completely respectful to, but I just say LGBTQ plus because the plus is there.
We're not trying to
include everybody.
We're not trying to.
I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just trying to not brain hurt.
The only people we don't like are the ones that say it's okay to like babies. Yeah, so like we said, back to what we were going to talk about. We decided to talk. We're going to talk about Stonewall.
Yeah.
Which is a thing not taught in schools, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you're lucky if it's taught in schools.
Yeah.
It wasn't taught in mine. And then we're going to talk about the destruction of the fucking DOMA laws in this stupid ass country.
Yes. That's the thing. I was alive for that. You were alive for that.
Yeah. That is a thing. Yes, I was alive.
Yes.
Not alive for the Stonewall riots. No. I was alive for two old people being the reason why gays can get married.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. In the U.S. There's lots of places where
it is not.
Yeah, you still can't.
Canada was like way ahead of us, though.
Yeah. Canada's pretty chill.
Okay, yeah. Now let's talk about Stonewall. Let's talk about Stonewall first, because that's what started it all.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Let's go.
Do you want me? Yeah, I'll just dive right in. So picture yourself
picturing
New York,
Greenwich
Village, Christopher Street, from my notes.
Christopher Street,
and it's the late 1960s, like 68, 69, like that time era. At that time, being gay actually had like laws against you in the terms of like being openly
gay, but
flamboyant,
also,
I guess, gay, or however you would put
cross-dressing.
Yeah,
even if you weren't gay, like I know they would.
It's just a rough time to be
you for wearing clothes of the opposite gender.
Yeah, yeah. If you were a woman, you were wearing men's clothing, you had to have like the video we watched was talking about, like you had to have like 3 articles of women's clothing on you. Just bullshit, really.
Right.
And there was like, surprise, surprise, a bunch of shithead policemen, which is also a theme throughout our entire fucking podcast.
What were they called? It was like I'll look it up. This is what it's called.
The Public Moral Squad.
Yeah. Thanks. You could have said that before.
Notes, girl. Notes. I came prepped.
I try to talk to you, bro.
That's fine.
And like I don't think to look at the notes.
That's
I'm
okay.
bad.
It's okay. I'll look at the notes and you can just fill it in. Fuck it. Fuck it. That's how we do. The only reason we have notes is because we want to be accurate. Because this is something very important to both of us. Yeah, so they were basically the Public Moral Squad was like this group of police that answered to the mayor. Like police chief answers to the mayor, right? But like this group did shit for the mayor, basically like hits on the gays. Not lethal hits, although sometimes that shit did happen, but basically he would order them to like go into gay parts of the town and play like Stonewall Inn and just like harass and lay down the law on the gays, on the LGBTQIA plus community. Scrolling.
Notes crew.
Notes gang.
Notes gang.
And so basically what happened was at Stonewall Inn in the late 60s, that little rinky-dink squad of haters in uniform pulled up to the bar. And this Stonewall Inn was, okay, so like we think, or at least in my experience, taught to think or kind of led to believe that that gay shit like wasn't a thing like back in the day. Yeah. And it was very closeted and hidden, but that's not true. It was just separated. It was like communities, like pockets of people, and they would get together because it was safer to be together. Like, and one of these pockets or like areas where our community could be safe was at Stonewall Inn, and that's what it's famous for. It's like the gay bar, right? Yeah. And it's also described as one of the places where different colors didn't matter. Like everyone is like, if you fell into that LGBT community, you were safe there and accepted there. And it was very different from everywhere else in the time, especially in the city of New York. And that's not a shit on New York. I'm just talking about at that time. Yeah. With segregation, big cities weren't, there's a lot of people, so you can't really exactly feel safest walking around in places you wouldn't be invited in your drag or something. Right. And so what happens is the cops roll up in there, they're like, hey,
what are you doing?
Yeah. And you know what they say? What
are you doing? What are you gay for?
That's exactly what they say. They say, what are you freaking gay for? And they say, guess what we're going to do? Which, by the way, I find hilarious because they hate gay stuff so much. But then they're like, we're going to do the gayest thing cops have ever had to do and check your fucking genitals. They would do genital checks. That's so if you were a man dressed as a woman, if you were a queen or you were cross-dressing, a cop could fucking make you drop trowel and check your jiggle bits. Oh my God. And it doesn't matter, meaty tuck or not. If you had those parts, you went to fucking jail.
Could you imagine?
You got arrested, beat up, and thrown in a jail car for having a dick and wearing a dress. Yeah. How insane is that? That rule that cops could do is called like verifying genitalia. Yeah. Which is just code word and kind of a little gay, if you think about it, to just be pulling down queen shit and looking at their junk. Yeah. Which is, I just find it ironic.
Now that is irony.
And they're saying slurs like, hey, you queer mo's and stuff like that.
Hey, you hecking, loving of another person that is not your same gender. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then,
exactly like that.
And then like people are refusing to go. This is like a packed bar. Yeah. Full of all the same types of people. Like people that know they have to rely on each other to be safe.
From what I remember, they surrounded the bar. Like people tried to start leaving, and
the
like
cops
they wouldn't
barricaded.
let them in.
Yeah. They tried. They're like, "Fuck this, we're gonna leave. Like whatever. We're not gonna go to jail, and you're not gonna check my junk." Yeah. And then the cops like barricaded Stonewall Inn. So they were literally trapped. Which is, it's like they didn't have the option to walk away. It was either you're gonna get essentially like sexually assaulted. Yeah. You're going to then be beaten up, which they did. They would beat the fuck out of these people. Yeah, yeah. And throw them into their paddy wagons and shit. So instead of that happening, there was it's largely attributed to a trans woman named Marsha who started saying basically shit along the lines of like, yo,
heck you.
I'm a citizen of this fucking state. I pay taxes. I have rights. Fuck you. Like, you're not going to do this shit to me, and we're all sick of you guys doing this. And this just wasn't just one time. The cops did this shit all the time. Yeah. Like, weekly. Like, daily. They would pull up and just cause some ruckus. All at the hands of the mayor, who was very homophobic and hated that shit.
So she's just like, not today.
Yeah. Yeah. And
goodbye.
Yeah, exactly. Which translates into, I've got my fucking rights. So, basically, they start pushing the police back, like, yo, back up, son! Like, getting all up in their face and shit, pushing them away,
bebopping.
Which I love. Out of my way, I love the idea of multiple queens in drag fighting cops.
Yes. That's what started so
Marsha takes this shot glass and whips it at a mirror, and that kind of gets everyone frenzied. And then they're like, fuck yeah, destruction, anarchy, fight back, fight the power, fight the fucking power. And they push the cops out. And like, so the cops called backup, and they're like hiding in the bar as like all of the people in the bar that were being harassed exit the bar. And the cops call for backup because they're bitches. And that results then in, so by like word of mouth, literally within a couple minutes, there's like hundreds of the LGBTQ plus community surrounding Stonewall Inn, and they set fucking fire to the bar, bro.
Well, that's because there was like just that whole entire like
that entire community, everything surrounding was like
LGBTQ
homeless
plus.
youth that were gay. Like that whole place was known for like being a haven for gays, and not just in New York, but like people from all over came there to like be safe and to live their fucking life.
Yeah, and so like they were like, oh shit, something going down on and Stonewall.
Yeah,
and then they were like, snatch the weave,
snatch the drag them.
The cops' weaves gone. Where are they?
Who knows? Oh, they're burning in the fucking bar because they set it on fire with the cops inside, as one would do.
Oh.
The cops get out, thankfully, because then it would have been like a bunch of murder charges and shit.
Can I just say, insert the meme of Wendy Williams when she's like, oh.
Wendy Williams is terrifying.
I don't think she's real. Don't come for me, Wendy.
Yeah, we were in the last episode we talked about Bill Gates being a reptilian. Wendy Williams is definitely a reptilian, dude. Anyway, back to the important shit.
Yeah, so they were burning down the building with the cops inside.
Yeah, and they run off all the police, including the backup that showed up.
Yeah,
and then that night and the following next night was just like thousands, like hundreds of, like so many, like a football stadium.
I mean,
of people.
Obviously, yeah, it got around.
Yeah. And
and it was like for days.
They rioted.
Right?
It was just those two. So for that night and then the following day and night. So for 2 days, basically.
Did we mention how iconic it is that this happened in 1969?
Nice.
So, like, hello?
So that's what's the Stonewall riots, or like those 2 days. But then after that is when the gay rights coalitions and like groups for people, gay people who want to be treated fucking equally, like the equality groups and shit, really blew up. And that was like the rush of gay rights and gay equality being pushed in New York hardcore. And like I said, we're not talking about like 100 people in this rinky-dink rented out room. We're talking like thousands of people, to the point where like they had their march and they filled the streets and spoke about, like, they had microphones, they spoke about like what was going on, and it's just like in their lives and the shit that they were facing, like getting beaten by police, losing jobs, being homeless because you couldn't fucking rent an apartment, like you would lose where you were living if this shit got found out. And they really just started this huge push, and that's kind of like what the first Pride was. It was an event where everyone was openly being gay in a public setting, challenging the people who were saying you can't be considered equal. And that's now amazing. Pride is way different, but at the same time it's still the same thing. It's still, it's reminding people that we're real, that we're here, being gay. We're here, we're queer, get used to it. And but it's a lot more fun. I feel like it's less activism and more fun, like partying now. But it's still like huge parts of Pride are activism. I don't want to like shadow that by anything. Like, there's a reason why it happens, and the reason is because like in today's day and age there are still challenges for people in the LGBTQIA plus community. So that's what Pride covers. Like, this will be my first Pride that I've ever gone to. Like, really? I've seen the events in like big city downtown shit like that.
Same. I hope I can go. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna come.
Yuck, girl. Oh yeah, and one last note. It was Marsha and her friend Sylvia who formed the Transgender Coalition. And they worked with because unfortunately at that time, even in the gay and lesbian scenes, transgenders were still looked kind of at like as embarrassing even to them. A lot has changed, thankfully.
Yes, thankfully.
Because when you're fighting for equality, you have to fight for equal rights to everyone who isn't a monster or something. Oh God, did I just ruin my makeup?
Where?
Oh,
I don't think
am I still beautiful? Okay. I just scratched my eye. I just scratched my eye. My first day, I'm fucking up this bad, dude.
Beep boop beep. Hello, RuPaul.
Mother?
RuPaul. He scratches makeup off.
Oh, God. I'm going to get sued.
She says, "Chassé away."
No, she'd probably say something like, "Step your pussy up."
Speaking of stepping pussies up, we have an ad time coming.
Boom,
in.
we're hitting you with this ad. You just learned about Stonewall. You've seen my beautiful face.
And
Aileen, Juicy.
let's get into that.
Yeah, let's get into the ad about Pride coming up. Our first event. Go. Boom. Bam. Ad. Boom. Bow.
Hello and welcome to ad time.
Special ad. Special ad alert.
Special ad alert. This is for the Pride Festival here in Ashtabula.
Coming up soon, babies.
Yeah, so it was started by two pastors, William and John, and they wanted to, create a safe space for the LGBTQ plus community.
Yes.
They actually ended up forming the LGBTQ plus Ashtabula County Community Club.
Yes. Mouthful.
Nailed that. Didn't have to look at my notes at all.
Queen.
That community club actually petitioned for a start a Pride event, which they successfully have done.
Yes. And
it's going to be on June 5th.
Yes. June 5th of this year, obviously.
Yes.
It's going to be held at 1498 State Route 46 South, Jefferson, Ohio. It's going to be from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. And it's basically it's Ashtabula's first Pride Parade event thing.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited too because it's going to be hosted by two drag queens whom I am fans of, Miss Mona Lotz and Miss Vivian Vendetta Sinclair. There's going to be food, craft vendors, and a bunch of cool little booths set up for stuff.
Yes.
And community services, including a very important one, because here in Ashtabula County, the health board does not monitor or ensure that there's any proper care or information given to people in our county affected by HIV and AIDS, which is, obviously a big thing in the LGBTQIA plus community. It has been for a long time. So Signature Health, which is an awesome organization out here, is going to be including free HIV and AIDS testing and info on healthcare needs for those affected by the disease. So, come out, support the LGBTQIA plus community in Ashtabula, and have fun. And also, just as a little ending, there's going to be unicorn rides.
That's freaking everything.
Freaking unicorn rides.
Unicorn rides? If you're not there just for the unicorn rides, what are you doing?
So show up. Show up and be gay and be happy.
Yeah.
Bye. We're back from the ad. It's your host with the most, Aileen Juicy, a.k.a. Big Stank. And Jill, a.k.a. Jillian Lillian. And we want to talk about the second coolest thing that we learned about when studying a bunch of stuff that we weren't really taught in school. And that's going to be the United States versus Edie, Windsor.
Yes. A wonderful lesbian queen. She met her partner dancing, right? Back in the 50s or something?
Yes, Edie Windsor met Thea Spire.
Yeah, Thea
Spire.
Like Tia Tamara, but it's Thea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, spot on. I like that. Tia Tamara and Thea.
Thea Tamara.
Yeah, they met in the 50s at a time where it was illegal for someone of the same sex to even be dancing close to another person of the same sex. It's legit. Look it up. And they met in a bar, and Edie was a bad bitch. And she started hitting on Thea, and it turned out Thea was single. Thea also very much enjoyed the female genitalia, and they got together. And they fell in love. They started dating, and they fell in love.
Everything.
And they started living together.
Yes. And wait, while they were living together, that was in 1960, right?
Yes, that was in 1960s. So Stonewall does happen while they're living together. They were roommates.
They were roommates.
Lesbian roommates. And Edie's actually out and about town when the Stonewall riots first happened, and she hears about it, and she comes home, and she asks Thea, like, hey, should we go do this shit? Should we support, be open?
We go riot with everyone.
Yeah, for gay pride and for being who you are. And Thea said, I want to, but I'd rather us not get beaten over the fucking head by police and thrown into a jail cell and possibly murdered.
Maybe here's some pictures of the violence.
Yeah. And Edie's like, okay, 100% respect. And so they decide not to go, but they do stay together. They stay together for 30 years.
Yeah.
30 fucking years.
That's like
they were roommates for 30 years.
And then they got married, right?
Yeah, and they got married because Thea actually she ends up coming down with MS, which is a disease that paralyzes you in different ways, usually takes away your ability to walk. So Thea's in a wheelchair, and they're older now, and she's just like, yo, it's time, let's get married. Yeah. So they decide to run up to Canada, where it's legal, Toronto. Oh, 666.
Canada, can I please get married?
Yeah. And Drake was like, yes, you can. Because we all know Drake is the ruler of Toronto, Canada.
And Justin's there too. Justin Bieber.
Yeah. J Beebs.
He's there too with his dreads.
with his fucking dreads. So they get married. And then they come back to the United States, and in 2009, Thea dies from the disease of MS.
Rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace to a real one, to a real queen. Pour one out. Glug, glug, glug. But when Thea dies, she leaves all of her shit to Edie, who's her wife.
Makes sense. They were married.
Yeah, they were married in Canada. So here's the thing. The law DOMA is the Defense of Marriage Act. And it was a law passed in the United States to basically make it so anyone who wasn't a man and a woman in a straight hetero relationship can't get married legally and it be recognized by the government. And that comes with all the stuff that happens when, you know, like if me and Tori get married, I die, Tori gets my shit, like in my will, right? And like it can't be taxed or anything like that or whatever. There might be some special circumstances. But basically what happened is that a representative of the U.S. government, a fucking Fed boy, he's like, pulled up and was like, hey, by the way, because of this act, y'all's marriage isn't real to the government. So not only are you going to be taxed, but you're going to be taxed $500,000 fucking dollars. $500,000.
That's like a lot of zeros.
Yeah. Yeah. $500,000 on an old lady. A sweet old lady. Yeah. So Edie fucking pulls her fucking britches up, calls a bunch of lawyers. A bunch of lawyers basically tell her, yeah, nah, can't do shit about it.
They were like, listen. They have done this before. They tried to. And you know what? Honestly, I'm too much of a wimp to take this on. All right?
Yeah, I'm just
Edie?
You're telling me you're just a huge pussy bitch. Oh. Yeah. Lawyers were huge pussy bitches. Bitches.
But then,
dun dun.
Edie finds, what was her name? I know she goes by Robbie, right?
Yeah, Roberta Kaplan, whose nickname was Robbie. Gets a hold of her, and she's like, listen, this isn't just your run-of-the-mill, like, bullshit. You guys were legitimately together basically your whole lives. You got married in Canada. You did everything you need to do. We're going to bully the shit out of the government. We're going to make them change this and make it right.
Right. And so they went head to head in a boxing match. Actually,
yes, yes.
Her and the government.
I wish, because that would be fantastic.
That would be.
But
pay-per-view. Hello.
Edie and Robbie do end up taking the feds to court and suing them. And one of my favorite lines that Edie says is, "If my love wasn't real, no love was real. It deserves to be recognized," or something along. That might not be a direct quote, but something along those lines. And which is basically just like you. But like, so fuck you, you know? Yeah. Like, if you can't see that, you can't accept my love for being real, then I don't have to accept your love for being real. Yeah. Because I know it's genuine love. Yeah. And apparently that won the, I guess, Supreme Court over, whatever court oversaw the...
It was like 5-4, though. It was close, right?
Yeah, very close. But it did pass. And on June 6, 2013, DOMA got overruled. Which is fitting because that's 2 days before the anniversary of the Stonewall riots, which, if you remember, Edie and Thea decided not to go to because they were just worried something bad would happen. And a lot
Right.
of bad did happen, so
Yeah.
their worries were understandable. But Edie then speaks at the Stonewall anniversary as now a champion for gay rights. And, yeah, she got to, you know, you went from being
She said
someone who had to hide your
how
love.
about you pay me $500,000?
Yeah, pay me $500,000 and suck it too while you're down there.
That was a bad
Bitch.
tongue click, but it's fine. Damn.
So yeah, that's just a little episode about Pride, the Pride event coming up in Ashtabula, which we
Yes.
covered in our ad that we just
Yes.
did and covered. And so yeah, now you know a little bit of some things that you may not have known.
Another thing that you may not have known is that my first non-male crush was Jennifer Lawrence, for sure.
My
First
first
one.
non-female crush was all of the Backstreet Boys. I just wanted to get railed the fuck out by every single Backstreet Boy, and I was like 12.
Ooh.
No,
I love
was,
that.
Yeah, no, my mom bought me like all their CDs, and I just, yeah, I love the Backstreet Boys. That was kind of like that was definitely the awakening where I was like, oh, boys are cute.
Do you still love the Backstreet Boys right
Yeah.
now?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
I love Ryan Reynolds. I love Hugh Jackman.
Yes, Ryan Reynolds.
Just any attractive man. Idris Elba. Could Idris Albone me? Boom! Also a great drag name.
Oh my God! Wait.
Idris Albone.
I love that.
But yeah, you know, as two bisexual queens that run a spaceship and have a small cult following, we
There's
just wanted to let it
three
be
people.
known that we're proud of who we are, and you guys should be proud of who you are too.
Also,
There's no discrimination or hate in Stank Space. Just
Also-
a lot of space.
pansexual,
Pansexual. Yes, pansexual queen.
bisexual, pansexual queen.
Yeah. We love you. We love you for who you are.
genitalia.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care.
We don't
What
care.
is that? Who is that? I don't care about it.
It's you. That's who that is. Let her out.
No, her name is Stelia, and she wears a giant wig like they did back like in the Marie Antoinette days.
Okay.
And she wears a tank top and
And she's slowly dying from lead poisoning due to the makeup and powder they use in the wigs.
yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Okay.
Wonderful
Well,
character
Stelia,
creation right there.
steal my fucking heart and send us off, dude. Do it. Send us off in Stelia's voice.
Okay. Get out of here.
Links in the description below.
You got to go watch all of the videos, all of the clips on TikTok.
Yeah.
I hate this. I hate this.
What is that?
I don't
You
know.
gotta, you gotta flip it. Boom.
It's the character. It's the character.
It's the
It's
character.
the claw.
It's the character.
claw.
Stelia. Stelia.
Stelia. Mr. Stelia Dice.
Mr.
Okay.
Stelia Dice. Oh, man. Jason Derulo's gonna sue us now, dude.
Jason Derulo. Goodbye, Jason
Goodbye,
Derulo.